Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're now tuned in to another segment of Community Dialogue. I'm your host, William Sawyer. I'm honored to have with me a dynamic young lady by the name of Robin K. Miller. She's the author of the book, Sex, Drugs, and Thugs. Right? Okay, and Mrs. Miller, as I understand it, you've been causing quite a little stir with your book here. Why don't we go into depth a little bit about what your book is about, and also we'll deal with your motivations for writing this book.
Okay, the book is called Sex, Drugs, and Thugs, okay. The Untold Truth Behind New York Jail Corruption. Okay. I mean, the retired female correction officer. The problem is that no one from the inside has really spoken out. Right. That's credible. Like, people have spoken out, but to me, they're not credible. Right. Like, you take, say the ex-commissioner, Bernard Carrick. Okay. He was jailed. That's not credible to me. Okay. Say anything at this point to sell books. Sure. Gary Haywood. He was correction officer. Gary Haywood, who? He was an ex-correction officer. He went to jail sold drugs. Okay. He put corruption officer out. All right, that sounds familiar. It's not credible to me. Okay. I mean, their stories might be credible to them, but to me, it's just not credible. Me retiring with an excellent record and everything that I saw, and things that I continue to read in the newspapers, and having a nephew that's incarcerated in the state prisons, okay, makes me more knowledgeable and more credible. Okay, so let's backtrack for a minute, right? I know you said you was a correction officer for how many years? 20 years, from 1983 to 2005. Okay, so let's go back to when you first came out of the academy. Wow. I mean, if we can. Oh, we can. Okay, and let's delve into what some of your experiences was as a fresh new recruit just coming into the Department of Corrections. Well, I was 21 going on 22. Okay. Young, fresh, a little naive, street smart though, because I grew up in the Brownsville houses in Brooklyn. Okay. In the projects. Brownsville in the house, okay. Never ran, never will. Okay, okay. I was excited, I had a job. Right. My main thing back then was a job, yeah. Right. I didn't care, as a matter of fact, I didn't even know what a correction officer was. I just needed a good paying job so I could take care of myself. Right. So coming into this environment, I worked on Wall Street, I've done a lot of jobs, temporary, whatever. Prior to your correction? Prior to correction. Okay. But coming to correction, to me, it was like being on the streets. Okay. Oh, really? I felt like it was just one big Stone Avenue where I grew up at. Because I worked in the male jail. Right. So walking in the hallways in the building that I worked in, which is C-76, they call it the Eric M. Taylor Center. It was like being on Stone Avenue, because inmates was just all over the hallways. The thing that I didn't like, that I noticed right away, was when you come on a job and you fresh, I call it fresh meat. I'm pretty sure they call it that also. Yeah, I was fresh meat, but I wasn't cooperative. Okay, okay. They put you in the personnel office first. See, we get their pick. They get their pick first. Wow. But while you're in the personnel office, it's not necessarily the personnel officers that want you, because most of them are already hooked up. Okay. But then you got the big bosses, the captains, and the superior officers coming in and out. Yeah, the brass coming in and out and looking to see who's in there. So now, just for one, if I may interject, in case the listener audience don't understand what brass mean, we're talking about the depths, The wardens, the captains?
Like the captains, the deputy wardens,
Right.
assistant deputy wardens,
Okay.
the wardens.
Right.
Or everybody has access to
Right.
the personnel office.
And so, in other words, they want to have first pick, or is that?
Yeah, they don't come out and say it, but.
Right.
You know, they
It's
look.
unspoken.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
And then besides that, then it's one thing to deal with the personnel office.
Okay.
Then when it's time to go eat your lunch, you go to the mess hall, then that's when the officers, the male officers gang up on you. You can't even sit down and eat your food.
Wow. So that sounds a little bit like sexual harassment, basically.
Yeah, but it didn't get
you
to
may
that
not look
part
at it-
yet, but
okay.
at the end of the day, well, I used to shut it down, so
Okay.
I used to be blunt. Just, this is why you sit next to me, just keep it moving. But the problem is, well, me, I was very vocal about, I don't come to work to have sex, I come to
Right.
work to work.
Right.
If you're trying to get my pants, it's just not gonna happen.
Okay.
So in return, then I was put, I didn't mind being in the dorms and the housing areas, whatever, with the inmates. That's my job, that's what I came to work.
Right.
To work around inmates.
Right.
But then they would basically punish you and give you the worst, they call them the worst, the undesirable post, the worst housing area.
Okay, so let me see if I understand this correct. So if a new female recruit, you wasn't willing to play ball,
Right.
then you would be assigned the worst.
Yeah, they put you with the adolescents, drive you crazy all day. They put you in the annex lower gate, isolated from everybody. It's like hardly no traffic. As a matter of fact,
Potentially dangerous assignment.
yeah, I got beat up on that gate by a male officer, annex lower gate. Come to think about it.
Whoa, not an inmate, an officer.
Officer. I got beat down on that gate and they covered it up. But that's in the book. We ain't gonna go into depth about that, but that's in my book. As a rookie, that same burn post, it's called the burn post. I was beat up by a male officer.
So let me ask you something. Is your experience, you consider an isolated incident, or is that sort of the norm?
No, that's the norm.
Wow.
If you don't play ball, and this is one of the reasons why I'm coming up, I'm getting ready to start an organization called A Place to Go for female officers. Because the stuff that I went through as a female officer, not playing ball, and they try to make my life a living hell.
Wow.
I could only imagine, and some of the stuff that I've seen other females being sexually harassed, emotionally, physically abused, it's like, this went on a lot.
Wow.
And if they complain, 9 times out of 10, they'll get set up, they'll be fired.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like they have nowhere to go. Nobody's listening to them. I remember reading in, I think the Daily News, a female officer was assaulted, sexually assaulted on her post in front of the inmates, yeah, by a captain.
Wow.
They call him Raping Rudolph or something.
Yeah.
He grabbed her breast. He grabbed her breast because she wouldn't play ball.
Well, wait a minute, because let's get to this, because this type of stuff needs
that's in
to
the
be
book, too.
exposed.
It's in-
That's in it.
Oh, that's not
And you got her by name?
Yeah, because it's in the Daily News. I can put that
Captain
in there.
Rudolph.
Yeah, they call him Raping Rudolph. He retired. She won. She filed a lawsuit and won.
Yeah, but I mean,
But he basically grabbed her breasts, ripped the blouse open. She went to several people to file complaints, and no one would listen. And this is what's going on with female officers on the job. And I know it's still going on. I'm reading stuff, still reading stuff in the
Sure.
papers about it going on. They can't get it from you. If they can't have sex with you, can't have their way with you, they will get some of these male officers, not all of them, don't get me wrong, it's not all of them. Some of them will physically harm you. The guy that physically hit me on the gate, I remember when I was a rookie, we used to ride this, we used to call the Rikers Island bus. We used to ride the bus from the institution to the parking lot to get in your car or to get on the bus or whatever you had to do. I remember getting off the bus one day and everybody was laughing. So I turned around. This same officer was sniffing my seat. Disgusting. I told him he's disgusting. He's just nasty. And it wasn't not too long after that I was assaulted by him. He fractured my fingers, as a matter of fact. I still have the original report that I wrote.
You actually sustained a physical injury?
Yes, and they covered it up.
Report files?
Yeah, and they covered it up. They covered it up. I didn't realize that until years later. All I was concerned about was keeping my job.
Wow. So there's no organizations right now. You said you wanted to start an organization. What is it called?
A place to go.
Okay, so there's nothing out there for
Not for female officers.
Really? Wow.
And a lot of these female officers got kids to take care of.
Absolutely, right.
They have themselves to take care of.
Right.
And these people are running them off the job. And if they speak up, like anyway, is whistleblowing, they ain't not protected with that. They speak up, they retaliated against. They're not just retaliated against the male officers, they also retaliated against the female officers as well. That's what I went through as an officer.
Wow.
The male officers didn't like me. Nobody liked me. The male officers get the females to go along with it. So then you find yourself coming to work by yourself.
You be ostracized, basically.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. You see, I believe that this is a side of the Department of Corrections, right? That the general public is not really aware of, right?
No.
Wow,
people are afraid to speak out.
Wow. So what you're saying is they're all females, they're all people that want to speak, but they're afraid of retaliation.
Yeah, because you lose your job. And at the end of the day, who's going to take care of you if you lose your job? At the end of the day, I don't care what anybody says, it comes down to you want your job.
Right.
Because if you don't want your job, you quit. And a lot of times, a lot of these females can't deal with it and they quit. You know how many times I've wanted to quit? You know how many days practically every day I hated going to work.
Wow.
If it wasn't for me working with the prisoners, I probably would have quit. Because I said, first of all, we come to the job. The job is care, custody, and control.
That's the model.
That's it.
Right.
We are babysitters as correction officers. We're there to watch the inmates. You watch these inmates. If you watch these inmates, you'll know what's going on. Nobody will be running out the door, climbing under the jail to get out. They won't have time to be sitting there having sex with your colleagues in the bathroom because people are on their job, watching their job. Because most of these posts, at least when I was working, 2 people was on post. But a lot of times, with my...
Like an A and a B officer.
Yeah, wherever the A guy is at, I'm in the back with the B. Where's my A guy? He around the corner somewhere chilling out. Basically saying later for me.
Okay.
My thing is, the problem is, to me, it's not 100% the inmates. To me, it's 50% inmates and 50% officers. If the officers would do their jobs, if the officers would not come in there like it's like we're at war. We're trained from the academy. The inmates are the enemy, and there are 50. I would say it's 50% of inmates in jail today that are not guilty. They are innocent, and nobody seems to want to hear that. And nobody seems to want to recognize that until you get a commissioner that goes to jail. Well, he's different than the other person you call a scumbag. He's an inmate. Is he getting the same treatment that you're giving the other inmates? No. The problem is we need to reform these inmates. What people fail to realize is the jails are the mirror images of the streets. Okay. And these people are coming in there, officers. First of all, a lot of officers, not all of them, a lot of them are so mean-spirited. They come to work every day with a nasty, stinking attitude. And they want to take it out on everybody, not just the inmates, their co-workers. They just got an attitude every day.
So even, because you know what, like for the average person, I'm pretty sure the inmates look at it from this perspective also. The officer, you have a job, a good paying job, right? Benefits and everything. What reason do you have to come in to work with attitude every day.
They miserable. If anything, you expect the inmates to be,
Right.
have an attitude. That's why I could never understand that.
Right.
It's like, we got a job, so
Right.
if anybody should be happy, they used to ask me, why are you so happy? I'm happy to be alive, and I'm happy I got a job. I'm
Right.
happy that God let me wake up this morning.
Good
I used to
paying job.
Yes, I used to come to work, even under the worst circumstance, I would never let them know how I felt. I always came to work with a smile on my face, even though it was eating me up inside.
Right.
But I would never let them see me sweat.
So let me ask something. In your experience as a correction officer, 23 years it was? 22? 20 years.
20.
What did you feel you had the most threat or problems or issues with officers or inmates?
Officers. The inmates was never a problem. Because I know how to deal with people.
Right,
It's not just inmates.
right,
I'm a people person when I'm out in the street. Inside, I like to be by myself. But I'm a people person, and I have compassion for people, and I don't judge people. Not unless you put me in a position where I have to judge you.
right.
And my thing is, dealing with inmates is like, I don't care why you're here. A lot of them used to tell me they're innocent, and I believe them. My thing what I used to say to them is, you did so much other stuff, and you didn't appreciate your freedom, so karma just bit you. So now you gotta appreciate your freedom and fight for it. You know, but the thing of it is that, and from growing up in the projects, like I know how to, the guys that I'm seeing it, like I said, jail is a mirror image of the streets. So if it's bad in jails, it's bad in the streets.
Sure.
If you can't deal with them in jail, then you can't deal with these people in the streets.
So it's almost sort of like a microcosm of society.
And if you look at it from the 80s, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. Growing up the 60s and 70s, for me, was great, growing up. The 80s is when I came on the job. If you look at the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, if you look at it like that, you can see that from the 80s to the 90s, it got bad. From the 90s to the 2000s, it got horrible. And what I realized is that, you know, now I'm retired, I'm sitting back, I'm thinking, was writing this book or whatever the case is, and I'm saying, like in a family structure, like I see a lot of officers beating these inmates for no reason. And I can understand, they do something and they hit you or something and you gotta do what you gotta do, fine. But I just see them beating them just for looking in their direction. And the thing of it is, you keep beating and beating and beating, then it don't mean nothing. They get used to it and they get angry.
Right.
That's why I'm telling you, these officers in New York City and New York State Correction, they're beating these grown-ass people. And it's gonna get to the point, they're getting tired, and they're gonna snap. And this younger generation, they're not like us, they're not kumbaya.
Right.
They are going to snap, and you're gonna see officers dying in the line of duty in corrections. You're gonna see riots. It's gonna get bad. And the person that I blame for the state is Governor Cuomo, and the person that I'm gonna blame for the city, if he don't get it together, is our Mayor de Blasio.
Okay, so Robert, so now, so let's delve into the book for a minute. You have a book
Oh,
coming
that's
out.
in the book?
Okay, and now this book is Sex, Drugs, and Thugs.
Yes, the untold truth behind New York jail corruption, because it's a lot.
Okay, and this is coming out when?
It's coming out in September, the end of September, but you can pre-order it now if you go to RobinKMiller.com.
RobinKMiller.com.
Or if you go to GoFundMe.com/RobinKMiller, you can help me to basically print the book, because I'm releasing the book myself.
Right.
Yes, I'm not dealing with no agents, no publishers, because I don't like how they do business.
Right.
I'm releasing it myself. I'm my own publicist. I'm a one-man show at this point. So I just need help really to pay off my editor, because he's doing it, and just to print copies.
Okay.
So
and also in that way, when you're doing things independently and you're not beholden to anyone,
and you can release it unfiltered.
Yeah, and I have total control. I want to
Right.
tell the entire truth.
Right, you have
Because
total
I'm
creative
tired,
control.
yes, I'm tired of people thinking what they see on TV is what jail is really all about. Everybody in jail is not a bad person. Everybody in jail did not do it. I'm tired of hearing people say, oh, he's a scumbag, he deserves it, or they deserve it. I'm tired of that.
Right.
And I'm also tired of them starving these inmates in these state prisons. They
Right.
feeding them portions like a 5-year-old.
Yes, I've heard that.
So one of my main focuses I want to bring to the table is Greenhaven Correctional Facility. I have a nephew
Okay.
that's there.
Okay,
They physically, I call it attempted murder, gang-style beating.
what's
My
his
nephew.
nephew's name? What's his name?
Delamar Brown.
Delamar Brown.
They beat him down, covered it up. I wrote to the governor, I wrote to the attorney general, I wrote to everybody. They covered it up. I have all the reports. They pulled the old correction playbook out. I know the playbook because I was an officer too. The commissioner, Anthony Anucci, he was down with it. The captain and the superintendent. They all covered it up. Now my nephew's sitting in solitary confinement for them beating him up for no reason. He didn't even get a chance to even hit nobody.
So, what has been your reception, right? There's two things I want to ask you. I wanted to ask you, what has been your reception to that as far as pushing for the rights of your nephew? And then also wanted you to touch on, what's this guy, Norman Seabrook, the head of the Correction Officers Benevolent Association.
So which question first?
Okay, well, let's go with your nephew for real quick and tell me what's been your...
Oh, well, my
reception
nephew,
to
well,
that.
they seem to think they got away with it, but I'm getting ready to, all the reports that I wrote is in my book.
Okay,
Every report that I wrote, every person I reached out to is in my book. They
Okay,
basically
gotcha.
covered that up.
okay, so real quick on Norman Seabrook.
Norman Seabrook, I mean, I don't really know him. I met him a couple of times. I don't know him personally, but from what I see, it's time for him to go. To me, he just wants to be a rock star. He got too used to the power, and he's ripping the officers off. I was retired 2005. After 2005, I didn't get my variable supplement check until last year. I don't think we're getting it this year, but then I find out he's taking trips to Israel and all these other places and hanging out. And he making $300,000 a year, and you mean to tell me these retired officers, the same ones that voted for him, put him in office when we was working, we can't get our variable? I want to see what happens this year. As far as I'm concerned, he's just as corrupt as the rest. It's gonna come out.
Okay.
If he's dirty, it's coming out, and his own people are gonna give him up. He's not as clean as President Obama, and trust me,
Okay.
it's all gonna come out in the wash.
Okay, so once again, this has been another segment of Community Dialogue. Your host, William Sawyer, also the founder and CEO of Inner City Tech. InnerCityTech.org is the website. Pleased to have with me Robin K. Miller, dynamic young lady. She's blowing the lid off this thing. But hey, big
I'm
mouth
hyped.
thing,
I'm
right?
ready.
And you can pre-order the book at where? What was it again?
RobinKMiller.com or GoFundMe.com/RobinKMiller, or you can go to Kickstarter. I have a Sex, Drugs, and Thugs, The Untold Story. You can go to that link and help me fund this. I want to get this book out in September. I'm going to get it out in September. I just need a little help. I'm good.
Okay, and
And I have the two organizations I'm starting.
Okay, right.
One is the Deep Brown Project. That's for inmates to send me all their complaints from the jails for now.
I'm Milton William Sawyer. Tune in next week for another segment.